Why is it so hot today? Usually it's freezing here in England, but today, no. It feels like it's like 50 degrees outside, even though it's like 26. It feels as if someone turned on the new Intel 10900K in the room. At least that was the joke I was planning to say at the start of my video, and I did anyway, so I guess round of applause for me. Because Intel surprised all the skeptics with a CPU that performs better temperature-wise than its predecessor. So all the jokes that AMD fanboys have been making, well, they're still gonna make them, because let's be honest, they will always make them. And that's going from someone who favors AMD CPUs. I mean, my PC is powered by Ryzen and all 3700X, I love the thing, but just because I prefer AMD doesn't mean I don't want to give Intel a fair chance. Though I don't know if I should, given the fact that they, for some reason, forgot to, send me a very famous and influential tech reviewer any review samples. I mean, who would have thought? But anyway, Intel 10th Gen has launched. Is it any good? Well, again, probably to the distraught of many of the AMD fanboys who are hoping that this will be like the end of Intel or something, they do actually perform rather well. And you should be happy about it. I have seen so many people still saying that they're going to boycott Intel because of their bad business practices, even though they don't realize that the competition is very healthy and normal, and also it's just the way that the free market functions, But let's get to the specifics, shall we? We knew that the new Intel 10th Gen CPUs are gonna way outperform AMD when it comes to gaming, and they did. In fact, even the i5s outperform the Ryzen 9's 3rd Gen, which is kind of surprising to me, and just puts in perspective how big of an advantage Intel still has in gaming. So to say that the CPUs have no value and that no one should buy them, even consider them, is just dumb. Why am I spending so much time in this video talking about the fanboys? I have no idea, probably because it may have been one of the most toxic launches I have ever seen. I'm not saying toxic from the company, but toxic from the actual PC enthusiast community. So, Intel's perform better for gaming, no surprise there. And AMD CPUs still perform better for productivity, again, no surprise there. So, what should we take away from this launch, apart from that people are dumb and should stop being such fanboys and ignoring facts? Well, apart from giving me all the info I needed to create my guide to CPU buying in 2020, which should come out in the next few days, so definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss that. But it also shows that the Intel's 14nm process, even though it's getting more and more pluses, to the point where it looks more like an ad for a shop that sells really big clothing, more than talking about transistor sizes, but that's kind of beside the point. Basically, if they're able to squeeze in 2 more cores into the i9 CPUs, and they're still able to push the clocks so far up, even if the temps aren't great, and you still need a rather beefy cooler just to have the, optimal turbo experience, and never mind overclocking it. But it shows that the strategy has been still proven effective and is still able to produce stuff that is competitive in gaming. For everything else, I would totally go AMD, but if you're just interested in gaming, the whole recommendation still stands. And in fact, what's also surprising is how much of a good value they provide for gaming, because if we counted for, FPS per dollar, that Intel CPUs come out way ahead over the AMD counterpart. However, although that graph may suggest that Intel CPUs are all of a sudden amazing value, there are a few things to consider. Firstly, the motherboards are more expensive. Secondly, you need a new motherboard, unlike with Ryzen, where if you at least went 1st or 2nd gen, you could still use your motherboard for newer CPUs, at least in most cases. Additionally, you need a cooling solution, and a really good one at that, as it doesn't come with any stock cooler, unlike AMD CPUs. And as a giant money-ridden cherry on top, you're probably gonna need a better PSU because of the higher power draw, but it probably won't change your required wattage by too much, if we're being honest. So when it comes to pure value, a case can still be made for AMD, but the real way to check is just, compare the two. Pick out a motherboard, pick out some cooling, compare it to its AMD brethren, and see, in your case, what will come out cheaper. And also just remember what exactly you do, because if you just do gaming and have that maybe tiny bit of extra money to spend, then totally go Intel. Basically what I'm saying is that nothing has changed, this is all just boring, and we should all just go home, go to sleep, and just wake up when Ryzen 4000 launches, when maybe we'll finally see some change in the pattern. So I guess wake me up when that happens. I'm going to sleep. See ya. But before I go to sleep, let me quickly remind you that I will be making my CPU buying guide. It should come out in the next few days, so definitely subscribe if you want to see that. And also, as usual, if you want to help support the channel monetarily, then I highly recommend checking out my Patreon, which is linked down in the video description below. As even $1 a month is a long way in helping me make way better content, also content on way more interesting topics. Also down there, if you find my Discord, if you want to talk to me or others about this video or whatever else really. If you need like suggestions for hardware or just whatever you want to talk about, just join us down there. Trust me, it's fun. But I guess that's really good, so I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. If you did, remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.